welcome to Trophy Room. Here we take a look at some of the collectibles we've got here at Pop Culture Pause Screen. First up we have Tracer. We got Tracer from MCM London Comic Con this year. I'd only just gotten into Overwatch when I saw Tracer at one of the stalls, and was a very awesome looking figure. It's the biggest purchase we had this year, and decided to snap her up, and now she sits quite nicely on my coffee table. Well happy with my Tracer figure. Here we have Christmas Nights, which was a demo originally of the full game Nights on the Sega Saturn. It wasn't actually released as a full title, you got it free in a magazine, and Ben from Sega Saturn Junkyard has actually made it look with this custom sleeve, makes it look like a full release. He's also created a full instruction manual, which again the game never came with one, so it now goes into the story and controls, and he's built all this from scratch. This is not something you would have bought when the game first came out. So it's kind of cool that the Saturn community can create things like this. It's almost like a collector's edition as such of a game that I really enjoy. The original sleeve was just a cardboard sleeve that was on the front cover of this magazine, as you can see there. So it did kind of look out of place in my collection. But now, thanks to Ben's work, Christmas Nights now looks like a full game release and sits very nicely with the rest of my collection and doesn't stick out like a sore thumb anymore. Warcraft II was the first time I'd actually played a real-time strategy game, and I was blown away by the building of your bases and the epic battles you commanded in that type of genre across land, sea and air. I spent many hours playing through the story on that because I was so used to platformers up until that point. So when Warcraft III came out, I was adamant I had to give that a go, and that's when I quickly learned that PC games are very different to console games, where there's system requirements you have to play a PC game. So my PC at the time was certainly not up to the task of running Warcraft 3. So Warcraft 3 sat on my shelf for many years before I actually got a chance to play it, and when I did, again I was blown away by the graphics and the storyline and the quest for Arthas to track down Frostmourne, which is the sword that you're seeing there. He spends the whole game trying to get hold of the sword, and when you get it right at the end after all these epic battles, massive hour-long fights, it's very cool when you're swinging that sword around, even though it is for one level, to lay waste to all the enemies that have given you so much problems up until that point. So when I saw this model at Comic-Con and how cheap it was, I was very happy to add that to my collection, and the lighting up effect of the base is a nice touch as well. My love for wrestling goes back to when I was a small boy, when my granddad sat me down to watch WrestleMania 10 and WrestleMania 12 for the first time, and I was hooked from the first match, especially when I saw Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart in the Iron Man match in WrestleMania 12. I was amazed by the entrances and the characters and the wrestling moves in the ring, and I wanted to know everything about it. That continued for many years, and when I got older I wanted one of the championship belts, and my personal favourite was the Undisputed belt, which Triple H was the first to hold when the WCW and the WWE belt were combined into one. And I always thought this was one of the coolest concepts and the best belts out there. Always wanted one of the Intercontinental belts, the one from the Attitude Era, but this is my personal favourite, and I got this for Christmas and I was so happy when I did. And let's face it, if you're a wrestling fan growing up, who didn't want to get a championship belt and put it over your shoulder? finally, for this first episode of Trophy Room, I have my Evangelion figure collection. I am a huge fan of the anime Evangelion, and grew up watching the episodes as they came out on DVD from HMV. Very expensive, even back then. Tremendously expensive to get on DVD now. One day I will cover something about the anime, and I'll open up a bag of worms, because it is quite a complex anime to get into. But these figures were bought for me for Christmas by a friend. I'm very thankful for that, and I was quite chuffed to see these, because you don't often get a chance to see Evangelion action figures anywhere at all. So I'm happy to have the full set. And that's all for this episode, so thank you for checking out Trophy Room. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, maybe check out our Facebook page. Sarah's doing a great job over there, posting daily.